all you want till you're blue in the face. I wanna know what you do.
Previously on The Up and Up with Jody Newell.
You know, I actually had we had a really good conversation. I've jumped on all of these teams, and I feel like I want to talk to you about this at some point too, and just the weight of the work sometimes, because I'll jump on, any team that I can within my district where this work is being done. Something like the affirmative action team, the equity team, the anti-racism team. And so we were talking today, I had a meeting about curriculum, and we were talking about how do we start doing exactly that? How do we start, making sure that at the for the youngest kids, we get this context right. And, make sure that what we're teaching is going to set them up for the things that they're going to be seeing that kids now are not, because we're going to improve on that as well. And then we got into a conversation where we were talking about all of us learning and how when we're turning around and doing PD for the rest of the staff, just like you're saying, there's not that frame of reference for a lot of the things that we're talking about. And we got into the conversation about how just the mention of white supremacy and saying, we have an anti-racism resolution as a district. And, it's about facing and defeating white supremacy, rooting it out of this institution. And a lot of my white colleagues are just hearing that there's an issue with being white, right? As opposed to like whiteness as a construct, it's like, oh, because I'm white, you have a problem with me. And so, it goes back to this, and it goes back to looking at where all of that comes from.
So my guest today uses his actual voice, whether in the classroom or the studio, to influence the culture of education and advocate for positive changes. So welcome to the show, Toney Jackson.
It is a pleasure to be here, Jody. Thank you so much for having me.
This is one thing that I especially love about you is that it's so many different hats. I mean, I do want to talk about, so let's just talk about that now. I don't even want to go past it. So tell me about like these different teams. And I just want to say, like, I feel like I am with you because I will volunteer for anything that I can get in on, want help with Medicare for all advocacy? Yes, I'm going to get on that team. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I volunteer with 3 different organizations because you know why? I can't say no, and they're all important, and I'm not giving any of them up.
Oh, listen.
Tell me about it.
There's a bunch of conversations in there because one of the things, one of the best pieces of advice that one of my colleagues gave me was, it's easier to take back a no than a yes, right? So if somebody's asking you for something, asking you to do something, and you say, I'm sorry, I can't do that. It's possible that, down the line, you could say, hey, if you still need me, I just want you to know that I can. And they might say, hey, cool, I appreciate that. As opposed to saying, yo, I got you, I'm in, I'm going to do this. And then you're like, nah. And then it puts them in a tough spot. So I'm trying to do that because like you, I do the same thing. I think about how important all of these different things are, these different causes are. And I'm like, if I can do something, then I want to be able to do that. A buddy of mine was trying to get me to run for a city council office. Ooh. And I kept saying, we kind of have the same thing about each other. I'm like, you. I'm like, no, this would be you. This is all you. He said, I can't do it, man. But I can you please do it? What do you think? And eventually I just said no because of timing. And then now he's running. And so, I think I try to look for where I can do the good and what it is that I can do. And I'm trying to find that balance.
So this is my why, because I'm a revolutionary, because this work is revolutionary, and because for revolutions to take place, it takes the placement of agents into strategic positions to lead with ambition and teach those in front who will later surpass them. Our task is to ensure that they do. Because for revolutions to take place, we need a 360-degree turn from the idea that the goal is just to get degrees earned. Earning degrees and grades isn't the only way to show your value and growth, and we are after both. So let's start a revolution Let's turn things around, seeing through every angle, then come back to the same point, prepared to progress beyond it. Because the future sits in front of us. They are agents of change whose voices must be amplified. We must combat complacency by making sure that we take steps to keep student voice adjacent to student agency so that they can be cause for revolutions to take place.
How do you know when you can do something or when you might need to pull back?
I don't even know. I'm still figuring it out. I mean, Screw Progressives. I just like impromptu took off like 3 weeks because I'm like, I am completely burned out. You know, it's just, that's what happens. But
there you go. That's healthy. That's
Yeah.
healthy to be able to say that. I'm just, okay, let me just have some downtime.
Mhm.
Yeah.
See, I do the opposite though. I need to take that advice and be able to take back the no rather than the yes, because I'm constantly just saying yes.
We'll be accountability partners because I'm trying it. And I said yes to something, like I'm constantly doing it. But you know what? This is what I do. I end up saying, okay, wait, I'll write it down. I'm really meticulous with my planner. I'm like, okay, once I get these 7 things done, then I'm good.
Right.
After these 7 things, I'm not gonna say it, and then the next day I'll be like, oh yeah, I can squeeze that in. Okay, cool. Oh, it's tough.
Well, it's a good thing you're good with the planner. So what are the teams?
So we have it's hard because I think that there's a big umbrella team. I want to say that the big umbrella team is the affirmative action team. And so that is a very wide team that has they used to be called ad hoc committees that are broken off. And so under the affirmative action team, we meet together, we talk about what we're going to plan, and then that breaks off. And then I'm also on the curriculum committee, which is working on, well, the big push is equity overall, right? So there's the affirmative action team, there's the equity team, and then under the affirmative action team, there is the curriculum team that I'm working on, and we're working on making not just getting new programs, but actually trying to make sure that we are working the core ideas and ideals of equity and anti-racism into the curriculum before anything else. So changing the whole mission statement and then moving from there. And so that, that's one team. The anti-racism team, we're working on providing PD for the district we've done 2 sessions. The first one, I'm trying to remember, I think it was mostly on informing about why this is such an important need, right?
This house over here, that's America. Oh my gosh, it's on fire. The fire is racism. And check it out. This dude, he's a racist. The racists are responsible for the fires that are going on in America, and that's wrong. Now check it out. This guy has a tiny little flame and he's smiling. He's a smiling racist. Still wrong. It doesn't matter if somebody is smiling to your face and being racist. They are wrong. This guy's got the right idea, though. When there's a fire, you need
The second one was more about how it is impacting our city and our district and looking at that data. And then the next one is going to be focused from the conversations we've had about what we are currently doing to take action and what things we can do to collaborate and move that forward some more. That's a part of the conversation that I was mentioning having before. What other teams are there? And then there's teams within, there's school level teams. So, there's like a book club, which is really great. The Educators for Equity, which, we haven't met again in a couple of months, but, we're at a place where right now it's all Black educators. And we were talking about how we wanted to really, widen it out and open it up to anybody that was interested, but we're aware of the scale of that. And so, we took like a little break to say like, let's recalibrate before we do that, because we want to make sure that we can do that successfully.
Right.
And, and still have it running well. So that's, I want to say that's it, and then there's all like the little micro things. So we have like Read Across America Week and, okay, what can you do this for us here? Can you do that? So, yeah.
So, well, I mean, I guess we're on the topic of books, or you just brought it up anyway. See how smooth my transitioning is here. No,
You get
but
snaps.
But tell me about the book you wrote. I just found out about that a couple of days ago. I thought that's so cool.
Sure. Yeah, I write mostly kids books, and I wrote a.
Oh,
I
there's
did a-
more than I only saw the one, I think. So how many are there?
I think I only mentioned one. Uh, I've probably okay. Let me. As a creative person, I've probably written like 6 or 7 kids books, but the ones that I feel are finished books, the other ones I feel like, okay, I did that, but I feel like I could always go back in on it. There's one called I'm Jack on Black, and it's a kindergarten level reader about identity and about bias and about blackness. My name is Toney Jackson. I wanted to tell you about a book that I wrote. It's called I'm Jack on Black, and this is what it looks like. And I'm really excited because I wrote the book that looked like this, and that was about 2012, so it was a long time ago. And the book is really simple. It's told with silhouettes over brightly painted backgrounds. And the message is one of having pride in yourself, even though people have biases against other folks, and sometimes they try to make them feel bad about who they are. But the message of this book is pretty simple. It's geared towards kindergartners, but it should hit everybody, hopefully. And I have a really good friend, a couple of friends who are illustrators, like Kimberly Batty and Catherine Roy, and they gave me some advice on how to do pagination and how to think about the formatting of the book, and it really got me into planning it all over again. So I totally redid the illustrations, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So this is what the illustrations look like now. Very different, but I'm super excited, and being able to have a book where when I bring it to schools, kids can read, I love being black, and black is beautiful, and have those messages normalized is a big part of what I wanted to do with this book in the first place. So I got my little friend here, and this is just someone that wanted to help me out as I read the book. But what's really cool is that when you see some things up close and you take another look, you really get a different idea of who somebody might be. And so in the spirit of giving everybody a chance to be who they really are, I hope that you check out this book, I'm Jack on Black. I'm Toney Jackson. I'm black too, and I love being black. All right, peace. It's really, really short read, but I've gotten to use that with our kindergartners, and I'm really appreciative of being able to do that one. And the other one is just kids poetry. It's a bunch of kids poems and illustrations. I am a huge Shel Silverstein fan, so I will devour any Shel books, and he's been a huge influence. So that's the fun stuff. If I were to take a sabbatical from teaching, or if I were to get like a nice break, I would just want to write like a poem a day, and or a bunch, and just jump into some books, do some books.
Well, I think it was, one of the first things that I had seen from you on Instagram, and I feel like, it's kind of analogous to poetry, right? Is the hip hop. So tell me about that. I think the one that I saw, I think I actually saw you explaining that you had kind of fallen out of it or not been doing it in a while, and you were getting back into music. Cool. And I'm thinking, yes, because I loved it. So tell us about that.
That's kind of neat. Yeah. So I mentioned that when I was in college, I was really into hip hop and poetry, and a partner and we did like the scene, like we started an open mic that I'm really proud of, is still running today, a million years later, as we just did like the 20th anniversary, and had like all the people, come back and did like a big Zoom and share. It was really cool. But doing hip hop has always been something I've loved. And for a long time, I had really just been focusing on writing songs for my students, and doing stuff in the classroom. And then if I was able to share that out on social media, it's kind of fun, because then somebody else can take it. It's not stuff that I'm selling, especially because one of the fun parts of it is finding songs that my students know, and then using those just throwing some stuff over those popular beats. So I'm not trying to do something to sell it. But being on Instagram, especially, I would find I found like one cypher community, and it's where just MCs. It was right around the time of everything started to get locked down last year, and a couple of guys, Dominion Cyphers, said, yeah, we just want to open this up to the community, as if it were an open mic, and give people a chance to spit, because people aren't getting to go out to shows and clubs and everything. And I had been out of it for a really long time, but I jumped back in there, and I was writing every week, and I was doing a verse a week, and I just really found that passion for it again. And then they said, they had a competition that I won, and they said, we're going to produce an EP for you. We'll do 4 songs. And I've been having a blast working on that. And then, at the same time, a person I did music with like 15 years ago, who, worked with like a band that got some notoriety, was like, hey man, I got these songs. I'd really like you to, I know it's been 15 years, but would you mind, doing some stuff with us? I was like, sure. So, that's the kind of stuff that I'm thankful that I can say yes to.
Yeah. And so when is the album coming out, or is it a work in progress? Don't know for sure yet.
It's the 4-song EP. If I had a week where I could just push everything aside, I would have that thing done, but now, especially because of what we're talking about, I think so much. I put out albums when I was, albums like 15 years ago. And now that I think about it, I'm so much more keen on what I am saying. And, now that I have a little bit more of a platform, I think of what messages I want to get out there. So I'm really taking my time with it. And I really want it to be everything that I feel like I need to say within a couple of songs. Yeah. And, the cypher stuff, like just the little verses, is fun. But if I'm going to package something and put my name on it, I want it to be kind of like writing a book. I want it to be considered, the same way.
Yeah, absolutely. That's interesting. I like the way you put that. I'm a singer-songwriter myself. Not really, I don't actually record albums and stuff like that. I just do.
You buried the lead there. Okay, we need to have a whole nother conversation then.
There we go. Well, yeah, we'll have to get back together. But but what I love about what you said is that it is like a puzzle. You know what I mean? So it's like when you're putting together an album, each song kind of fits it, you kind of have to fit things into this song that says this one thing, and then but as a whole it also needs to, and each one has to lead into the other one in a functional way. It's really cool. It's like chapters of the book,
Right. And I can tell you so it's called the project is called Eat Your Idols, and it's a project that I had a drawing of like a cover for it, and the name of it easy like 15, maybe even 20 years ago. And when they mentioned it, especially with everything that's going on, it really clicked into me, and all the different ways, all the different things that we idolize, the people that we idolize, the ideas that we idolize. I felt like this is a way that I can say a lot of stuff that I want to say. So yeah,
that's really it. Well, I can't wait to hear it. That's awesome. Cool. All right. Well, I think our time's up here, Tony. I'm really disappointed about that. I think we really do need to reunite sometime and have a longer conversation. Maybe when your album comes out, come back together and we can we can share it with our people out here.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, absolutely. Definitely.
Awesome.
Looking forward to it.
Y'all saw what they did to Jacob Blake. Now watch her say it's not tied up in any way to race, while they raced in trying to erase him and then just aimed and sprayed, acting like the rounds are disposable paper plates. The brothers clinging to life that they tried to take. The Jakes make it so we're mourning every morning. Yeah, we wake to wakes. They get rewarded or a warning when it's taking place. They take a break, there's another waiting to take the place. Running back, gunning back, cops popping shots. Imagine that his son's in back when they pop a shot. The nerve to expect they deserve and respect when they serve and protecting each other, but they murder a threat cause they nervous and determine any certain person a threat. If they brown or they black, calling backups an urgent request. I'm tired of writing versions of verses for hurting in depth of my people. You taking lives, we gon' return to collect. Watch.